Hey now! What is up, everybody? My name is Mike Brown, aka Review King MB, and I guess the streak is over. This is my 31 days of horror movie reviews, and I have been trying to watch as many current day, coming out this year horror movies, and it seemed like we were on such an upswing. It seems like we were just watching banger after banger after banger. Horror was coming back full force. But then I decided to check out this film, The Invitation. The Invitation is a 2022 film that was directed by Jessica M. Thompson. And the plot. The plot is we meet Evie, played by Natalie Emmanuel, and she finds out somehow through this like family tree website that she has this cousin who's related to this big high royal wealthy British family. And so she goes there for the family reunion and quickly finds out that there's some weird shit going on with this family. And she meets this one guy, Walter, who seems very perfect and handsome and charming, and she starts to fall for him. But once again, fucked up shit going on. Now, before I get too much more into the details, I'm just going to say that I did not care for this film. I did not. It's not a terrible movie. You know, it's not like I was angry. It's not like I was bored out of my mind. I was almost a little bored. But I've certainly seen a lot worse. Even this year alone, I talked about how the streak of good horror movies, and this is true, we got so many good horror movies throughout the entire year, but even recently, the movies that I was watching back to back, it just seemed like I could do no wrong. But I did also see Jeepers Creepers Reborn, and that movie was a piece of shit, like utter trash, garbage, hot garbage. So this one, maybe it's because it's so close to seeing that. Maybe I'm giving this one a slight pass. Because compared to the actual good horror movies, this one is not good. And this one will not make the best of the year list. But I will say this. The directing's not terrible. You know, there's something about just a film looking competent. You know, a film, whatever the budget is, I probably should have checked the budget out of curiosity, but it did not look like a cheap movie. It did not look like a movie that was shot in someone's backyard or the green screen looking terrible. Like, no. They either kept it very practical. There was some decent moments of blood and whatnot. And if there were CGI, it didn't jump right out at me. So again, I will give credit for that. Natalie Emmanuel, who plays Evie, I like this actress. I do. I knew her from Game of Thrones. She's also in the Fast and Furious movies, and she's gorgeous. I mean, I just can't not say that. She is. She's beautiful, and she's a good enough actress to get you through this film, to get you through this plot, to hold your hand long enough to where I'm not wanting to cut my own head off watching this movie as it slowly slugs along with the supposed mystery of it. Now, what's weird about this is that so Evie goes to England, she meets this royal family, and she slowly starts to meet everyone, and certain people start to treat her weird, and other people are friendly. And let me just talk about the one butler of the family. He is played by Sean Pertwee. Pertwee. Yeah, I think that's how you say his last name. And it struck me instantly that this guy was playing the butler because I know this actor from Gotham. He played Alfred in Gotham. So to see him in that for like 5 seasons, to then watch this movie and see him in a butler suit, acting like a butler in this huge, ginormous castle of a house, It's ridiculous. Like, clearly he was cast because he's Alfred. And so that was quite interesting, especially because as soon as he shows up, he's instantly a dick. He's instantly an asshole and kind of racist to Evie and to any of the help who don't happen to be white. And so that was quite interesting. A racist Alfred. I mean, it's not the most unbelievable thing in the world. But then Evie meets, like I said, this guy, Walter, who was played by Thomas Doherty. And I'm not too familiar with this actor. I tried to look up his filmography, and he's been in a bunch of stuff, but nothing that I've seen. And so I will say that Walter, he is very good looking. He is very charming. He does have a nice smile. I'm not gay, but I'm saying I understand why she fell for him, you know. There was parts of the first half, or hell, 3/4, because a whole lot of nothing goes on in the film, where she's falling for him. He's slowly trying to impress her, be nice to her, seduce her, and get in her pants. And it's like, all right, this is like what, the adult version of Twilight? And I don't mean like 50 Shades of Grey, not that dumb, but I mean, you know, because he's mysterious, because there's something creepy going on with the family, and because she's normal, so she's falling for him, I was definitely like, okay, if they played this up more, right? Twilight, but R-rated. You know, Twilight, but they can actually do some cool shit. But they don't do that. The trailer gives the twist away. I watched the trailer and it's like, oh, so they're vampires. All right, cool. Maybe there's a reveal that they're not giving, you know? And then you watch the movie and no, they treat the vampire twist like it's a twist. Like it's not something that you didn't already know. And even if you didn't see the trailer, you could watch the scenes that they present to you. The scenes of the maids going down to clean something, and there's a creature with long nails in there in the dark and just quickly swoops them up. You know, you don't see a whole lot of kills at that point, but it's like, oh, okay, so if they're not vampires, they're some sort of creatures who need to be in the dark. Of course, vampires. And so there's a couple more scenes like that over and over again. It's always the maids specifically who get taken. It made me wonder, like, how many job openings and how many maids do they go through before, like, nobody knows what's going on? And so it's not till the very, very end. The last maybe 15 minutes, I will say that the action ramped up. There was a couple of cool, maybe fight scenes. Are they fight scenes? Whatever it is, there was more action. There was more stuff where things picked up. And so I said to myself, okay. I sat through an hour and a half to get through some decent stuff here. And then the very, very last scene, though, that's where it was at its dumbest. And I guess in being tied to that, Evie has this best friend who you see her throughout the film calling her or texting her, and she's very jokey. The best friend, she's very like, oh girl, you better not go over there. Oh, they're white. Oh, you can't trust them. Oh. And I'm like, are they trying to replicate the friend dynamic in Get Out? when you know, the TSA guy kept calling dude and was like, you better get out of there. You can't trust them. They're crazy. They're white and this and that. And it's just, this movie was trying so hard to do that. This movie was trying severely too hard to do something along those lines. And then the last scene, it was like, oh boy, this, like, I was trying to look for some positives. I was trying to look for anything that could make me not give this a bad rating. You know, I was like, maybe I'll just give this a Netflix and chill. Maybe I'll bump it up to something that's watchable. But then no. That end scene, and then when I think back at some of the dumb stuff and some of the slow parts and a lot of the boring bullshit, this movie's just some old bullshit.
Man, this some old bullshit.
I try to be nice. I try to maybe give this film a pass. It's not the worst movie this year, not the worst horror movie this year, but it won't be a good one. Who's gonna rewatch this movie, even if you like it? Are you ever gonna rewatch this fucking film? It's that forgettable. It's that nothing. Let me know in the comments below if you have seen The Invitation. What do you think of it? Did you find some enjoyment out of it more than I did? Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Later.
Souls taken over by a devilish path. You got me walking on broken glass. Kicking down the door with a Jason mask. With a deck dome machete, but you motherfuckers know it's heavy. Anytime you're ready, you can get you with a Bowie. Setting up to blow me, but the bitch don't know me. Who's going? I'm going. You know, I know that the man in the mirror is my next rival. Time goes and I never thought I'd live it so fast. Staring at the world from the end of my glass. Turned into a dark place, severed my brain. I done dropped out of class, but I made